All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Tonight, obviously, we're talking about the Raiders here on Raiders Daily. And I got to say, and I think a lot of Raiders fans would agree, not only am I extremely excited for the start of the regular season, but I'm pretty positive this team is going to shock a ton of people. And one of the reasons is I actually love what the Raiders are doing. So the recent blueprint in the National Football League as far as winning goes is to spend the money on the offensive side. Defensively, what do you want to do? You want to go fast. You want to go young, but more importantly, you want to go cheap. All right. Defensive players, they get hurt at a way faster rate than offensive players do. In fact, in our last 5 Super Bowl winners, none of them have had anywhere close to a top 5 defense. No, not even the Los Angeles Rams from a couple of seasons ago. Eye test would show, yeah, they're definitely a great defense, but statistically, they finished 15th in the National Football League that season. So my point is this: I really like some of the newcomers that are coming onto this Raiders team, specifically with the speed. And I'm looking at 2 new additions in Trey Tucker and Jacorian Bennett. But more importantly, this offense is really good. No matter what your opinion is on Jimmy Garoppolo, he's a coach's dream. This is a player who wins. He is liked. He's a great leader. Coaches, players, fans, top to bottom, like Jimmy Garoppolo. He can play. He does not throw interceptions, and he wins. He doesn't force balls. He doesn't throw into double coverage or triple coverage. He doesn't make stupid mistakes. He's a very, very high IQ football player. And when we look at a guy like Josh McDaniels, it's honestly a dream connection. It is a dream pairing. There is a reason Bill Belichick let Josh McDaniels run his offense for over a decade. There is a reason the greatest quarterback of all time, Tom Brady, loves Josh McDaniels. So while I will admit, I don't think Josh McDaniels was perfect, he was far from perfect this past season for the Raiders, you're going to see improvements. You're going to see coaching improvements from Josh McDaniels. One thing I do want to say with Josh McDaniels is everybody likes him. Coaches, players, fans. They like Josh McDaniels in his tenure with the New England Patriots. Yes, winning solves everything. He's got to turn it around. You know, you have to produce. You have to produce the results. But for the most part, everybody likes Josh McDaniels. All right. So I think he's gotten a very bad rap. He was very young in his quick tenure as a head coach for the Denver Broncos many years ago. I think he's learned a lot. And I think Jimmy Garoppolo is the perfect quarterback to surround him with. And, you know, we're not going to forget about Aiden O'Connell, who seems like a sneaky potential future steal. Could be the future quarterback of the Las Vegas Raiders. Who knows? But running down the depth chart, Josh McDaniels. Josh McDaniels is back. And I think he's on a perfect deal because we don't really know what Zamir White is. In fact, if you had to bet, I'm not enamored by anything I've seen from Zamir White from the second he got drafted from the Raiders. The good news is Josh Jacobs, the league's leading rusher this past season, is back in a Raider uniform. So you have literally last year's best running back. So I've got a winner, I've got a leader, I've got a quarterback who doesn't make mistakes, and I've got a running back. And they go hand in hand together. They make each other's job easier. When we take a look at the receiving room, when I say this comment that the Raiders have, I don't know how you could dispute it. The Raiders have a top 5 receiving core in the National Football League. Obviously, a big reason is Devontae Adams, but they're a deep team. Jacoby Myers comes on over from the New England Patriots, somebody who has experience. Hunter Renfrow, third and Renfrow. We don't know what Hunter's future is on the Raiders, but he's on the Raiders. And Hunter Renfrow, when last time we saw him healthy, 100 plus catches, 1,000 plus receiving yards. So Devontae Adams, Jacoby Myers, Hunter Renfrow. I mean, imagine for the people who don't think that's good, I mean, imagine if Joe Burrow or Patrick Mahomes was the quarterback. Those are 3 incredible weapons, all right? But it gets a little bit deeper, and it goes back to what we were talking about earlier on in the video. Fast, speed. Something we've seen with Dave Ziegler since he came into town in Las Vegas. DeAndre Carter, Trey Tucker, Christian Wilkerson. Trey Tucker, DeAndre Carter, they had good camps. They had good preseasons, but they really flashed to me in the special teams. And we've talked about it on this channel time and time again. Watch out for the Raiders special teams this upcoming season because they're quick. They showed plenty of flashes in preseason. There's something there. Speed, speed, speed. Speed kills, baby. Tight end room. Austin Hooper, a sneaky, reliable tight end in the National Football League. Austin Hooper gets a bad rap. He's coming off a down season with Tennessee. Tennessee, weird turmoil with their offense last year. Tannehill missed the season. They lost their final 7 games of the regular season. Second half, Tennessee was a mess. He still caught 41 balls for 444 yards and 2 touchdowns. But 2019, we saw Austin Hooper catch 75 balls for 800 yards and 6 touchdowns. But it's not just Austin Hooper. Second round draft pick, Michael Mayer. Michael Mayer is the future of tight end for the Las Vegas Raiders. And we saw it in the preseason. We saw plenty of flashes, I should say, in the preseason. They're going to be able to run 2 tight end sets out there. Austin Hooper, Michael Mayer. That's very good for Josh McDaniels. He can get creative. He can get versatile. Defensive coordinators are going to see Hooper and Mayer out there, and they're going to be like, we got to match that. Throw some speed out there. The offensive line is a lot better than people think. Offensively, I seriously, outside of an injury to Jimmy Garoppolo, which I don't even want to talk about, I don't know a world where the Raiders are in the top 10 offense. I literally don't know a world where the Raiders are top 10 offense. One of the worlds actually would be if Josh Jacobs wasn't back as a Raiders running back, but he is. The Raiders will have a top 10 offense this upcoming season. If the defense can do its job, first half, bend, don't break. Second half, like they showed us last season, field goals better than touchdowns, bend, don't break. Year number 2 under Patrick Graham, Max Crosby, the league's, or at least one of the league's best defensive ends. New addition, Tyree Wilson. He's probably going to have a slower rookie season. Probably won't blow up the stat sheet. He's a power rusher. And he's going to set up, and we saw it in that last preseason game, the one preseason game he played in very limited snaps. He's going to make a big impact with that power. All right. Jerry Tillery, Bilal Nichols, Max Crosby, Chandler Jones, Tyree Wilson. Their defensive line is totally fine. Now, we've mentioned it all summer. The linebacker room is the big concern. Divine Diablo, Robert Spillane, Luke Masterson. One thing that's keeping me hopeful with that linebacker room is if Double D is the rising star that I think he is, well, when we go back to that blueprint, what do you need defensively? You need a defensive end. You need a star on the pass rush. Defensive end, defensive tackle. Well, they got that with Max Crosby. You need a star linebacker. Well, that's what I think Double D is. And then you need a good secondary. Marcus Peters coming on over. Nate Hobbs, Marcus Epps, Trevon Moehrig getting a little bit deeper. Chris Smith II, David Long Jr., Jacorian Bennett. I don't know why that secondary will suck. I don't think that secondary will suck. Point is, I don't think that defense will suck. I think the defense will hover around middle of the pack. We pair it with a top 10 offense. Well, we pair those things together. The Raiders are going to be a much more improved team than they were last season. And then we go to the AFC West. Well, Kansas City's really good. We know that. But what about Denver? What about Los Angeles? We don't know. We don't really know. Ask a Cowboys fan. I've heard all summer, Kellen Moore coming on over to the Chargers. Ask a Cowboys fan if they were upset with that loss. They aren't. So a lot of question marks in the AFC West. I'm liking it. I'm liking the Raiders. Let me know what you guys are thinking. Hit that like button, hit that sub button as always. But what are you guys thinking about this Raiders team? Give me a win-loss total down below.